How I feel like a lot of people that I meet that are like that, they're like really like fixers in terms of relationships. Like has that affected you at all in terms of dating?
Yes.
Like just talking to you, like first impression, I'm like, wow, what a stand-up guy with like no issues, you know?
Everyone has issues.
Yeah.
I said, yeah, my name's Cody. What was your name? He goes, oh, I'm Jeff Davis. I said, Jeff. Oh, Jeff Davis. I was like, oh my gosh, you're the creator of Teen Wolf and Criminal Minds.
So if you were an animal, what kind of animal would you be?
Oh my gosh, probably like a Black Panther or like a tiger.
Really?
If you're studying to be a bus driver, don't watch a bus driver on TV. Go sit on a bus. He was just so eloquent, and as I'm like writing it all down in my book, and I was like, would you sign this? He was like, absolutely. And he signs it, and he says, everything I said was a lie, Hugh Laurie. It was just so perfect, and he's amazing.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Real Talk with Kyootbot. So in the past 10 years or so, I've had a lot of experiences with guys of all sorts of personalities and looks, but no matter what kind of guy I'd be talking to, I would say that 1 in every 4 guys or so would fumble extremely tremendously with me, like romantically, right? So it was like a curse. We would be texting or hanging out, and all of a sudden they'd get super awkward and say something super inappropriate to me. And it was all just during the talking stage where I could just like eject at any time. You know, like for example, I was just starting to get to know this dude named Bart romantically. And, you know, he was a really sweet guy, and we would have really nice conversations about what we wanted in life and our dreams and aspirations until one day, early into our texting stage, he forced me into this conversation, and it put me in the most awkward position ever. You know, he texted me something like, hey, what are you doing? And I replied, I'm just doing laundry bar. And then he texted me back something absolutely unhinged. He said, why? Did you get your panties dirty or something? Like, who the fuck says that? At this point, I immediately was just like, okay, like, what the fuck? You gave me the ick. Hopefully it was just a one-off. So I tried to divert the conversation, and I replied saying, no, I'm just washing towels and jackets. What are you doing, Bart? And he replied, damn, so you're a dirty girl, huh? Yeah, I'm just in bed, naked, and thinking of you. Okay, yeah, that's nasty, and that was a tremendous fumble. Worse than the guy that you would text, like, oh, I just got out of the shower, and he'd be like, oh, without me. And he'd have like a backwards hat on and shit. He'd be doing like that fuckboy face. But yeah, apparently, I only learned this recently, but what was going on, according to one of my male friends, was guys would go through this mental state where whenever they start to be awkward or inappropriate with their person of interest, it means they got too horny for the time they've been texting the girl. So I think there's like a linear function of like horniness to time spent talking to the girl. You can't be super horny in a small amount of time. Like, you know, you have to let that shit cook. Otherwise, if you're in that like upper left quadrant, you're going to fumble. And that's why I say 1 in 4 guys fumble, because there's one guy in each quadrant, all right? If you're up here, and that way too horny for the time spent talking to her, yeah, you're gonna fumble. Reevaluate yourself and your horny levels. I don't like that. Girls hate that.
Nobody even noticed. I saw them standing right there.
Hello guys, welcome to Real Talk with Kyootbot. Over here we have Cody Saintgnue. Is that how you say it?
Yeah, Saintgnue.
Saintgnue.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a cool last name. I like it.
Thank you.
But what do you do?
Yeah, so I've worked in the entertainment industry probably since I was professionally since I was 15. I started off doing fashion, started off doing modeling. because a girl that I had a crush on was a model. And I thought, oh man, well, maybe I can get her attention by becoming an Abercrombie model. And this is back in Ohio, by the way.
Okay.
And I never became an Abercrombie model, but it did lead me into entertainment. And I met an agent named Jake Lang in Cincinnati, Ohio. And he said, "Kid, you got the face for pilots." And I looked over at my mom and I said, "Is this guy crazy? I don't want to drive airplanes." I didn't even know what a pilot was, which is the beginning of a TV series. It's the first episode. And so he told me what that was and explained it to me. And I said, you know what? This sounds like it would be a lot of fun. So then I got into, acting and training and all of that. And then, I just started to really work on the craft. Moved out here. Later in my career, started working on some TV shows. And then I got into producing. So I've produced some feature films. I've done some music along the way. I've written for some cool K-pop artists. I just have artistic ADHD, I think.
Artistica.
Yeah.
So I saw you had Chicago 7 as one of the movies you produced. What was that like?
Yes, the Trials of the Chicago 7. That was an Aaron Sorkin production, written and directed by him, and that had to do with the civil lawsuits that were going on during the 1980s in Chicago, and it was it was around the peace riots and all of that. It was great. It was an amazing experience. It was the second production that I was ever able to be an executive producer on, and it's a lot more logistical than acting. And
What do you think you prefer?
between acting and producing,
Yeah. Like, would you consider the executive production part of it like an art as well? Because you said you were artistic ADHD.
I definitely think there is an art to it. I think when you're producing, and especially executive producing, you kind of have to play Cupid. You know, you have to, one, have a great Rolodex of people that you've built a sincere and meaningful relationship with to be like, hey, I have a project for you, and you have to be able to say, you know, how do you feel about investing in this? I think that this would be a great project, and I think aligning um, the correct investor with the right project, there is an art form to that. Obviously, acting's, like I would say 85%, emotional work. And it really just depends on the project. I think as an actor, some auditions that I won't take on that my agent sends me, it's because I truly in my heart feel that it's not my story to tell. So it really is just more case by case. I know that's kind of a vague answer, but it's the truth.
Yeah. So, what would you say your story to tell is?
My story?
Mhm.
Hmm. I would say, I mean, maybe my personal message is being someone who didn't have any family in the industry. And there's nothing wrong with having family in the industry. I think that's amazing. What a beautiful opportunity. But there's a lot of people who are like, man, I didn't come from the best home.
Uh-huh.
My parents were addicts. I didn't get the support that I needed, or et cetera, et cetera. Uh, I think my message would be that it doesn't matter where you start. If something's on your heart and you're consistent and you have a legitimate plan and you seek out great mentors, that you can work in the line of field that you want. So, it doesn't, the story doesn't, the cards don't always have to be right in front of you in the beginning. And most of the time they're not.
Yeah. So, what do you think? All this has like changed you as a person? Because I know you said you started pretty young, moving to Los Angeles from Ohio, but how do you think it like shaped you and your mindset?
Oh my God, I think it made me who I am today. I think I think anyone who has worked in entertainment since they were young can say that it definitely matures you in particular aspects of your life very quickly. You start off as a kid, but you're in an adult business. So I think there's a certain level of emotional maturity and awareness that is expected for you to pick up, and that's not always realistic. Um, so for me, especially with acting, um, you have to be very honest, and you have to borderline play like a psychologist with yourself. And in order to do that, you have to understand why you are the way that you are, so that way you can access those stories when you're telling one with, through a writer's work. So I think, this long-winded answer is it shaped me because it forced me to look at parts of myself, so that way I can bring those stories to life and I can have control over them, and consciously use them um, to entertain and, hopefully affect people.
Okay. So, did you always want to get into acting? Or was it just like the opportunity presented itself and you turned out to be good at it and then keep pursuing it?
I definitely didn't start off good. That's another story. Um, I think it was just kind of one of those divine things. I mean, again, the crush on that girl that I had kind of led me into this field of opportunity. I was never the best at sports. I was never this, the smartest kid in class. So I think when I found acting, and I had a lot of emotional vulnerability, I think, due to my past, I think for once in my life, I found a sense of purpose. So it kind of just happened, to be honest.
What's your favorite part about acting?
I would say collaborating with the other creatives. When you get an amazing director or you're working with another talent and there's just such a synergy and you both have done the work and everyone's put their best hearts forward, I think having that experience caught on camera to entertain people is, you know, I think, when I hear the words, action.
Oh, that's your favorite part.
Yeah.
Okay. And then is there anyone like in particular that you've built like a really, really good synergy with that's like very memorable to you?
I'd say one of my favorites was possibly Allison Stoner when I worked with her on
Oh,
House.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you do in house?
I played a young teen who had muscular dystrophy, and he had autism, and he had it was either a kidney or a liver that was failing. Or no, my sister did. Allison, she had a kidney liver that was failing, and I ended up being the only person that could give her that organ, and in turn, though, it drastically shortened my lifespan. So
And then so like what did you notice acting with Allison that made her so memorable?
I would say just the love that she had. I think it was a brother sister dynamic, so there's some family stuff in there, and I think that she just had so much heart and presence when she worked, and um, it was just it was a very emotional, imaginative experience, and you know, so I don't know if that's like the best answer, but that's just kind of what it was.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. And I saw you're very like interested in helping others from the interviews I saw
Mhm.
on online. What do you think brought about that mindset?
I would say I know that me being in foster care, how much my mom impacted my life.
Can you give like a rundown of your childhood? Because I saw like a description of it, but I don't think everyone saw it.
Yeah, I was placed into foster care at 9, and I was officially adopted at 12 by Brenda.
Mhm.
And yeah, she adopted me, and then, uh, you know, typical story of uh, parents who they never found their way, so it's hard to pave a path for another, and so that's okay. And so she stepped in to be an adult that would give a child the means that they need to thrive in life. So, so yeah, so she did that, and I think, um, something that she always taught me was, great leaders build other great leaders, not followers. So, because she instilled that into me in such a young age, there's a part of me that feels compelled to help people that don't see their self worth, or they might need a few extra things to get them on the right path. So,
How I feel like a lot of people that I meet that are like that, they're like really like fixers in terms of relationships. Like has that affected you at all in terms of dating?
yes, yes. I think in both ways too. I think, especially in my earlier years, I think some people might have felt compelled to try and help fix me. And then as I also, got older, then I subconsciously probably found relationships where I felt compelled to fix them. And, obviously through a lot of therapy, on my own personal belief is you can't really fix people. You can be there for their journey and the parts of their journey that they choose to take on.
That's crazy because like just talking to you like first impression, I'm like, wow, what a stand-up guy with like no issues, you know?
Everyone has issues.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Everyone does, and
Yeah, yeah.
everyone has triggers, and you never, and that's the thing. You have to figure out
Oh,
people's
shit.
triggers. So,
You should have like a trigger warning.
yeah, pardon.
You need like a trigger warning.
Yeah.
No,
Right.
let me know.
Mine is not having my 2 cups of coffee in the beginning of the morning.
We could make more for you.
Awesome.
All right. So I guess my question is like, what issues were resolved, and how did you find that way? Maybe like through artistic means, or
Issues resolved. What do you mean by that? Can you elaborate?
you were saying that you had like issues that you had to work through yourself.
Oh yeah,
I'm just wondering if you're open to talking about that.
yeah. I think it's safe to say that when everybody, first of all, has issues, it doesn't matter if you came from, a white picket fence family, or, that you were brought up with money. Like, every family has their generational curses. And if you look deeper or under the rug, or you spend enough time with people, you will see their beautiful imperfections, because we all have them. Um, I think for mine, due to the nature of being raised by, addicts who
Mhm.
in turn aren't really present, there's a lot of neglect issues, which can, then goes into abandonment, which then manifests into being codependent.
Oh.
So I would say there's a lot of codependency, a lot of frustrations as an angsty teenager too, because you don't even know why you are the way that you are. You don't even know why you act the way, or why you feel the way that you do, or why you're triggered, and you have all these hormones, and you're just all over the place. Um, so I would say, like, on a surface level, that's what I went through.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I see. So, you're probably like a lot different now. Because
Yeah.
I imagine like punching walls and stuff, you know.
I wasn't a wall
No.
puncher per se. No, I wasn't a wall puncher. I think just a lot of insecurity,
Mm,
which can manifest into then a big ego, which, if you have a big ego, that means you're probably going to be very sensitive to a lot of things.
mhm. So, what would you say your big break was?
I would say my break into, like, the pop culture scene was Teen Wolf.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then, how did that come about?
That came about through so what's a funny story about that is I actually went to acting school with one of the leads on the show, and I remember when he left, the acting school, and I said, "What happened to, X, Y, and Z?" And they said, "Oh, he booked Teen Wolf. He's like Teen Wolf." And I was like, "No
He's
way."
Teen Wolf now.
Yeah, he is. And I was like, "Oh my God, I'm going to tune in." And I watched the shows, supporting him, and then fast forward 2 or 3 years later, I was at a pool party. It was like a Fourth of July party, and I met a writer on the show, and we were just having some drinks, and he said, "Oh, like what shows are you watching?" And I said, "Oh, I'm supporting my friend, Tyler. He's on Teen Wolf, so I've been watching that and Breaking Bad." He goes, "Oh, Teen Wolf." He goes, "Let me introduce you to somebody," and he introduces me to someone. And he goes, "Hey Jeff, this is Cody. Cody told me that he knows, Tyler and has been watching the show and just thought you guys should meet." I said, "Oh, hi." I said, "Yeah, my name's Cody. What was your name?" He goes, "Oh, I'm Jeff Davis." I said, "Jeff." "Oh, Jeff Davis." I was like, "Oh my gosh, you're the creator of Teen Wolf and Criminal Minds." I was like, "Congratulations." I was like, an amazing achievement. Like, that's incredible. So ever since then, we just became friends. He brought me in for an audition like 2 years later, booked it. I was supposed to be a one-off guest star, and then I stayed till the end of the series.
Oh, that's so nice. And then how do you think that like affected your career, I guess? Because okay, so I was looking up interviews, like a Cody Saintgnue interview, and then I saw you had like a bunch just like for Teen Wolf, and then I would click it, and the comments would be like Cody, heart face, heart face, heart face. So like, how did that like affect your? I guess like, would you go outside and people would be like, "Oh my God, it's Cody."
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was really interesting. I think one of the weirdest things was watching my social media grow so rapidly. I
Mhm.
think like at the time I had just friends and family like following me, and then I went from like I don't know, like 1,000 or so people on my page to like in 2 weeks there was like 100,000 people, and I was like, what? I was like, this is like, you know, Teen Wolf is such an international show. Now I have people who are speaking other languages just commenting on my page, and it was interesting.
And then how did you handle that? Like at such a young age. Wait, actually, how old were you when you were?
I was 21 when that
That's pretty.
started
That's
happening.
pretty young.
Yeah. Um, how did I handle it?
Were you like, yeah,
Yeah, it was like yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I would say so. I was grateful because I finally felt like it created a window for me to, be considered for other projects as well. So,
Hmm.
it was like my first little break moment.
Hmm. Um, and then did you get like a lot of I guess like opportunities to date while you were filming as well?
Like, oh,
Date,
like girls and
yeah,
stuff.
or whatever.
Uh, yes. Definitely my name in the dating pool grew because more people were aware of me. So yes, that grew. I'm trying to think. I don't even know if I was dating someone at the time. I don't think I was dating anyone at that time. I was a single Pringle.
So do you have like a type of girl that you like?
Yes, I do. I do. Um, I'm definitely drawn to uh, girls that are sweet. I like the sweet ones. I like
Like we'll make you like cupcakes.
I'm Italian, so I feel like we just have to cook. Um, yeah, I like it's hard. I have to say I've been fortunate to meet so many amazing girls and women in my life, but they've all been so drastically different. So it's taken me a while to kind of figure out what I like, but I think someone that I can just be myself around. Someone that, sees me for me. I wear a lot of different hats. I have a business side, I have a lovey side, I have a childlike side. I have a lot of different sides to me. And so I think, I want someone to appreciate all all the different aspects of me as I do with them, and someone who's just honest, someone who's not afraid to be themselves, someone who's communicative, someone that's not afraid to let me know if something bothered them, and someone who doesn't take to heart or isn't defensive about something. Like they see that I have the best intention, even if like a miscommunication happens, like being able to talk about it. Like I like someone that I can like chalk stuff up with. They're like, hey, like what did you mean by that? I'm like, oh, like this is what I meant. And they're like, oh,
So, looking back, what would you say like your fondest memory for a project is?
oh, oh, that's a hard tie. I would say it's either a tie between Teen Wolf because I was so grateful that all the friends and stuff that I made on there and the opportunities it afforded me, but also there's an independent TV series that I did that I was a series regular on, and it didn't get picked up, but it was called Fracture, and it was like this dystopian, coming of age. Um, Role where these group of teens get stuck in a different time dimension when the world's going to hell, and their job is to try to get out of it and get back to their same fractal of quantum life. And again, I don't know what this says about me, but I booked a role who the guy was autistic, but he also had superpowers. I don't know what that
It is a superpower.
it is a superpower, right? Yeah, I think so. And so I was the only one on the show that had the superpower to see the.
How do you, sorry, how do you prep for the like just autistic roles? Like, do you
Um,
study?
yes, yes. So I think I think I don't know what the proper term is, so no one cancel me. But I think when you're dealing with you know niche character traits, um, I was trained in Meisner, so there was a whole extensive study on impediments, whether it's like speech or brain functionality. A big thing that I do is I just research actual real people. Like I look up interviews of real people that fall on particular spectrums, so that way I can learn from a real source and not like an actor's version. And then I make that into my own. I read a lot of psychology books to understand, why people are the way that they are.
Uh-huh.
So that's a little bit of my
Okay.
prep.
Um, what have you learned from psychology books? Like, how did that help you?
It helped me give myself a lot of grace, which helped me give others a lot of grace. I have a lot of patience for people. Um, and I think nothing's more frustrating than not knowing.
So wait, what is the unknown to you?
What's the unknown to me?
Yeah.
Space. I'm just kidding, I don't know.
You don't know.
The unknown to me, I mean, I don't want to say that I know everything because I absolutely don't, but as far as like psychology goes and why people are the way that they are, I mean, I can pretty much size someone up within probably the first 5 minutes of meeting them and understand them.
Oh, that's cool. Okay. So you have like a bullshit detector built in, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah.
Has it always been that way?
I would say a little bit, yeah. I think uh, young adults and teens and children who grew up in chaotic environments were forced to use their different survival skills. Um, so there's a little bit of that. Um, but yeah, like, the way that people sit, the things that they talk about, to their insecurities, to the things that they like to, be show their bravado on, eye contact, all these different things kind of, if you go to give someone a hug, do they flinch? Like, were they, abused when they were younger? Like, all these different little telltale signs
Uh-huh.
you can, you start to understand people.
Is that like a common thing with actors to look up psychology? Or
Um,
is that like a your interest superpower kind of thing?
I can't imagine that I'm the only actor that is intrigued by psychology. And I think a lot of people unknowingly do it as well. Whether they're looking up specifically psychology or the psychology of an individual, they're still looking up psychology. I think as an actor, you have a natural curiosity for humanity. And that's what kind of compels us, I would say.
Mm. Do you have like a Spotify?
I do.
Oh, okay. Is it just Cody Saintgnue?
Hmm.
Cool. Okay, I'll look it up. What's the genre?
I would say like urban pop. Yeah.
And then what made you start music versus stop, I guess, because you said you hadn't done it in a few years.
Yeah, I started it during COVID because everything shut down, and that's kind of right around the time when me and my friend moved in together. And since there were no like acting productions, I was like, oh, this is a good time for me to go full into music. And I did, and it was good. It was cool. I played at a few stadiums for Bare Knuckle Boxing Federation. Wrote a song, went double platinum.
So you seem to like just meet people and then make friends with them. Is that like an easy thing for you to do, usually?
Um, I guess so. Like, I don't know. I've always just been kind of open emotionally. I'm not afraid to be myself. So I think once people see that, they're not like they kind of put their guard down. I'm always the first one to like make everyone comfortable. And yeah, I don't know. I just start talking with people and usually have common interests. I think it's also LA too.
Thing.
I would
Okay.
say so.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So what kind of friends do you like to have?
Mm, I would say like loyal friends. You know, I think I think there's different, friends for different things. You
You know,
know,
like coworkers and like school friends, and then
yeah, I have some friends that I just connect on like we just love to go to the gym and like we're gym friends. And then I have some friends that, you know, um, I like to do different activities with. And then there's some friends that are from childhood and they just know everything about me and I know everything about them. And
do you still keep in contact with people from Ohio?
there's a few from Ohio that I keep up with. Um, Definitely still ones from here. Um, Ozzy James over there, Craig. um, yeah.
So if you were an animal, what kind of animal would it be?
um, oh my gosh, probably like a Black Panther or like a tiger.
Really? Yeah. Why?
Um, because they run in packs. They you know
You want to be a wolf?
no, they run in packs. I think that you know they're very mental creatures, but and they have a lot of power. So yeah, and I don't know. I think that they're badass.
Yeah, it's just when I think of like panthers and tigers, it's like scary, you know? Like, oh, it's gonna eat me.
Yeah, I could.
Would you say you have like a vicious side of you?
Oh yeah,
That's
yeah,
cool. How does it come out?
yeah. In life and death situations.
Oh, okay, I see.
Yeah, otherwise I avoid conflict at all costs.
Do you have any animals?
I do. I have a dog named Nala. She's a
Oh,
husky.
Nala, like from Lion King.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She knows a very great trick. If I tell her to sing or if I ask her to sing, she'll start howling. So she's trained in that way. She also is a really great actress. If I point a finger gun at her and I say bang, she'll fall over. So.
I wish Daisy was still here. She knows that one too.
Oh really? Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
she gets really like she doesn't like she got shot at all. 'Cause she's like wagging her tail and
Yeah.
waiting for the tree.
It's a happy death.
So, yeah, it seems like you like felines, yet you have a canine and you named it a feline trait, like a feline name.
Yeah.
Wow, it's role playing. So, what are your plans for the next 5 years?
I would say my plans for the next 5 years are to get my production company, Good News 23 Productions, start to get some films, made. Would like to plug my music into there.
And you had a fashion brand too.
I do. Reds.
New threads.
Yeah, GNUE, like my name.
Do you design it yourself too?
Yep.
Ooh, I saw. I liked it. It had like a, is it a dragon on it?
Yeah, snake. It's
Oh,
it is a type of bearded like snake though, so it has like a dragon.
And then in the back, I saw it had a hood with like a broken heart 28. Like, what's that about?
So it's funny you bring that up. That was actually the number that was. I played a lacrosse player on Teen Wolf, and for anyone that knows the show, I did that for them.
Oh, that's cute. Okay, I thought you just turned 28 and you hated it when you like designed
Can you
that.
imagine? Fuck 28.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what are your plans for your fashion store too?
At the right time, I have a lot of really cool stuff in line for that, but it's not the right season to push that yet,
Yeah.
or a part 2 of it.
Okay. So, what are like some future collaborations that you would like to do in the future?
Like on TV and film, or
Anything.
music, or just anything. Gosh, I couldn't even tell you who. Just talented, creative people who inspire me. I don't think it's particular people, just anyone who makes me feel that way.
You don't have any like dreams like, oh, I wish to like collab with Will Smith one day?
I would say Bradley Cooper would be someone that would definitely be a dream. Bryan Cranston would be a really amazing experience. Tom Hardy, yeah, those would be some. It would be so great just to get on screen with them and rumble.
Oh, have you had an experience where like you meet someone that you like watched for a long time or like was your idol and then you're like, oh, like they're really really cool in person too, or like, oh, they're kind of like not as cool.
Fortunately, everyone that I've ever met, they've been amazing. Sometimes you meet people that are your heroes and they're in a time crunch and like the experience may not be as long or like this moment, but doesn't mean that
Yeah.
they're busy, they gotta go. I was a massive fan of Hugh Laurie. That was the number one show that I wanted to be on when I first moved out. I was like, I would be an extra on the show. And I ended up booking the guest star on there with Allison, and I had a really great moment with him that I asked him, I said, hey, like, where did you go to acting school? Like, this was like a naive, like 16-year-old Cody who everyone in the what is it called when they're looking at playback?
Video Village.
Video Village. Thank you. Everyone was in Video Village, and I thought it might have been a good time to ask him this, and like you could just feel everyone was like, did he just ask that? And me being naive, I was like, yeah. And he goes, oh, yeah, this is where I studied, blah, blah, blah. I said, oh, cool. After we were done shooting, I went up to him and I said, hey, I said, I just have one more question for you. I said, do you have any advice for, young actors and aspiring actors? And he looked at me and he gave me this eloquent, amazing answer. Part of what I said today, which was, if you're studying to be a bus driver, don't watch a bus driver on TV. Go sit on a bus. He was just so eloquent, and as I'm like writing it all down in my book, and I was like, would you sign this? He was like, absolutely. And he signs it, and he says, everything I said was a lie, Hugh Laurie. It was just so perfect, and he's amazing. Yeah.
Okay. So was it a lie?
No, he.
Oh, okay. He was just joking.
That's just very British humor, and he was being sarcastic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, what advice would you give to someone that's in the entertainment business for the first time?
If you can be happier doing anything else, go do it. Number one. And if you've been bitten by the bug and it is a life disease that you just can't shake, then be prepared for every up and down possible.
Why is it a disease?
It's because it can just bleed you dry at times, and then it can be the most euphoric, magical feeling in the world. And yeah, but as far as for the advice though, become a student of life, journal everything you feel, understand everything that you are, read psychology books, just stay consistent, be a great person, understand the business side. You're a walking product, so the way that you represent yourself is also the way you're representing a project where people are putting 20s to hundreds of millions of dollars into. So you're a walking investment. So carry yourself that way. Understand that responsibility, that you are representing something. And whatever your craft is, dive in on it, go crazy, and just be consistent, be patient.
Okay. And where can people find you online?
You can find me online, anything, Twitter. I don't even know all the medias, but it's all just going to be my first and last name, Cody Saintgnue.
Hey, well, thank you, Cody, for coming to the show. We learned a lot of wisdom from you.
Thank you.
Only I feel like very small percentage of people would be able to, be in your position and give. W Cody. That was Real Talk with Kyootbot. Kyootbot signing off. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Don't mean to. Crazy things that you've been doing. Can't seem to shake this feeling. Got me out here overthinking, but I can't help overhearing. When I'm around, your words just keep on slipping. Checking me out, is it the drink you're sipping? Saving face when you be tripping. You got your mind on some feelings that you can't be showing. While you out here tippy-toeing. You're so damn loud, you know I hear you're something. Just come on out, tell me what you've been thinking.